Hey guys, today I'm going to be reconstructing my FMC NR mean. So before we start this video, I'm going to say first that I am nowhere near to being world class at FMC. I average about 33 to 35, and the only techniques I use are NIS and some decent-ish block building. So let's just go to the first scramble. So first I started with the normal scramble. Starting from the normal scramble, I saw this, and this, and I paired it up like this. So I put this edge here, U, and then paired this pair with this block, insert that edge, and then this edge. So that gave a 5 move 2x2x2. And then after that, I didn't find anything that good. I found a 39, which is pretty bad. So I decided to go to the inverse scramble instead. So first, in the inverse scramble, I saw this very clear block here. The edge is right here, so in 2 moves you can make a nice block there, and the corresponding edge is here. So first I just made a 2x2x2 block by doing U, B prime U. That places this edge correctly while putting this connected to the center. Then put this up, connect those, and insert. So that was a 6 move 2x2x2 block. And then I experimented around and I couldn't find any good endings. So this time, instead of making a 2x2x2 block, I made a 2x2x3 block. So again, using the same pairs basically, I just connected these two like that. Then notice that this block formed, the corresponding edges here, and for the red-green it's here. So I found that you can pretty much insert this pretty easily, and it's just an F2 away from its position. And this edge can be inserted here by doing R prime U prime R. So when you put this back, it's connected, and then you can just do a U, then insert that. So that was pretty neat. So I look at the red side, and well, this can be inserted into the cross piece by 1 move, and then there's this pair that can be connected so easily, like that. So first I just tried the normal insertion, like that, and I didn't find anything good after that. So instead I just connected it and then sledgehammer immediately. And then I tried, well, the last pair is here and here, and I tried a bunch of different things, and then finally I found that this was the best, because F prime U F, after you insert it, you get this last staircase, which is a 1 LL, just a normal LL, and then a UF. So yeah, basically I just spent a lot of time finding a good ending, and I did it. The total was 32 moves. So for the second solve, I started with the normal scramble. So for the first scramble, I did the yellow, green, and orange 2x2x2 block. So I did R prime, which inserted this to the yellow side, L, and then D prime, that connects this pair, and then we can insert this here by doing L prime, B2, then L2. So that's a pretty neat 2x2x2 block in only 6 moves. After that, I see this green red edge already inserted, and then there's this easy insert with just RUR prime. So I first tried RUR prime, and then I didn't find any good solutions after that, so I just added a random U move, which doesn't affect them in pieces, but then it will probably change something else. And then I just did RUR prime, and then I didn't find anything good here, so I went to the inverse. So this is already after this I switched to the inverse from that 2x2x3 block. See, this green can be inserted here, and then the green pair formed here, so just immediately cancel there, U, F prime, and then insert it like that. So just normal F2L stuff. And then the final 2 pairs here, if you just insert the normal way and then do a sledgehammer, you get this very easy last layer case. And that ended up being 35 moves. But because I still had a lot of time, I went to the inverse scramble. So what I did was try to connect these two pairs, and then while inserting this. So if you do an F prime here, this can be easily connected there. And then after that I just inserted this one, move it, connect it there, move this away, do an F prime, and then now it can be connected and then insert it. So that's a 6 move 2x2x2 block. And then after that I switch back to the normal with this block. So after switching back to the normal scramble, I immediately see this very easy pair and the edges here. So all I did was just F prime, then U2, and then insert that edge. So the 2x2x3 block is done in 11 moves, which is not bad. And then I didn't find any good continuation after this, so I switched back to the inverse scramble. So here we have the 2x2x3 block, and then basically I just did normal F2L after this. I did the red side. There's this piece, and then red, white, blue, and white, blue. So instead of just putting it up, we can just do a U, R, and that sets these two up. So I inserted that, and then coincidentally it made this pair, and after inserting it normally, we get this OLL case which skips the PLL. And then U. And that also gave me 32 moves. Here comes the third solve, which is just completely unbelievable. So the first thing I tried to do was make a 2x2x2 block with this pair. So we can easily connect this with this yellow red by doing D prime R prime D, and then insert this edge, and then that. So 5 move 2x2x2 block. And then I switched to the inverse because nothing looked good. So after switching to the inverse, there's this very easy pair here. So what I did was F2 to insert that, and then the edge is here. So did L2 and then just insert it like that, which is pretty normal. After that I just did the red side, and I saw that this can be connected there, not that way. So U2, then connect that, immediately insert it to the edge, and then we have F12 minus 1. And then here the last two edges don't really give anything good. I meant the last F12 pair. So I switched back to the normal scramble, and then when I switch back to the normal scramble, there's this easy F12 pair. I just did it normally, and that cancels into this OL. So it actually cancels 2 moves of the last F12 pair, and then cancel into a J perm. And that gave me 35 moves, full step, which is pretty cool. So I still had a lot of time, so I went and started with the inverse scramble, and then immediately there's this very easy 3 move 2x2x2 block that you can form using this white red, white blue, and this pair right here. So what I did was just an F2 to connect this, and just insert that cross edge piece, and then this cross edge piece, and we have a 2x2x2 block. And then there's this edge piece here and the white, orange, blue over here. What I did was F2, which brings this edge out, U prime, then F to connect this all together, and then R2. So far it's a 7 move 2x2x3 block, which is really good. But then after this I went to the inverse scramble and normal scramble. I switched and I didn't find any good endings, so I went back to this point. So yeah, I redid this 2x2x3 block, but before inserting it directly, I saw that there's this and this. These pieces can be connected into a pair, so I just did R prime, U2, R prime. So this pair at the back was here, and then somehow there's this cross edge just laying here to be inserted. Then so I just inserted this normally, and while doing that, it makes this pair I inserted it normally, and then what? Yeah, it's a commutator. It's just 8 moves and solved. Like, so let's look at that solution again. So I connected this pair to this edge like that. Inserted this 2x2x2 block, and then I brought this edge out, U prime, connected it, R prime U to R prime to connect that while inserting this, and then F2, insert that, then insert this F12 pair, and then last layer. So yeah, it ended up being 24 moves. Some of you FMC pro people might think that, oh, your last layer was a commutator and you didn't do any insertions. So I don't really know how insertions work. Well, I kinda vaguely understand it, but I just couldn't do it because I never learned how to do it. But after the comp finished, Wench found out that there's actually all of the insertions that you can do actually cancels 0 moves. So I got lucky, and that was optimal for my solution. So no insertions needed. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.